of course, I start doing this, and my neighbor, who I've never met, by the way, the one that lives like kind of behind us, behind this bush, started mowing the lawn. So hopefully you can hear me, but I wanted to really chat about recipes today and food. Food is fuel. Food is my favorite thing, aside from Jesus, probably. Food is the best. I love eating food. And I'm not a huge fan of cooking. I've never been like a, oh my gosh, get me in the kitchen person until recently. And I'm really trying to love cooking. I'm trying to make food not so scary about like what kind of recipe and, you know, I don't know, like the technical things of it, and rather just enjoy it and find joy in making something delicious. Trying to like romanticize cooking and cleaning. I hate the cleaning part, but like it's getting better now that I've really gotten excited about cooking a little bit. So guys, I've gotten excited about cooking. Perfect. So I wanted to chat about it today because I've been doing some things differently in the kitchen. I have been doing new things to make me excited about food, trying to eat more intentionally. Obviously, eating healthier is great, but I'm also like, I want to live my life and enjoy carbs and delicious things. So I'm trying not to be like restrictive too much, but I am being more intentional about specifically adding things into my diet, and by relation, Ian's diet too. We're just trying to eat a little more consciously. It is hard. I will just say this whole topic is interesting because it's a privilege to be able to do most of the things I'm talking about today. Like most people on this planet, probably 80% or so, do not have a say in where their food comes from, the groceries that they can even afford to buy, even the conversation of like organic, all natural, like those things are a luxury. And I just want to like preface that I recognize how much of a luxury it is to even talk about recipes and cooking and eating a little bit healthier, because not everybody has that opportunity. But since I do, it's part of our life. And when you know better, you try to do better if you have the ability to. And I think especially when you're in a place of not even like, it sounds so weird to be like, I'm in a place of privilege, because it is still expensive and we don't do things, you know, to the 100% best possible, lower the carbon emissions, the most sustainable way, because it does cost a lot of money and there's a lot of factors that go into that. But I am trying to, you know, buy whole foods when I can, buy organically when we can, you know, not be wasteful with the food waste and be as sustainable as possible, contribute to composting. This behind me, this giant bush, this is where I throw all of our compost. I keep a little bowl by my side when I'm cooking, and then I just come out and chuck it all out here when it's over. So anyway, it's just a privilege to be able to have this conversation, and I understand that. So yeah, but I also want to maybe inspire you to get more creative in the kitchen, especially I feel like when you're trying something new that you don't like, you're not used to doing. It's easier to try it in the summer months when you're, I don't know, just kind of like feeling high on life and there's like vitamin D going on and you see the sunshine, you're not so depressed. I think you can try to form a new habit. It's easier when at least there's more things going in your favor, probably. I don't know. What am I talking about? Okay. So with that, let's do it. Let's just talk about food today. And then I need to eat. I'm hungry. So the last episode before we get into this, I talked about sort of embarrassing stories and a little bitty update of life. I totally blanked on one of the biggest stories. Okay, like I'm some groundbreaking journalist, but I totally forgot to tell you about what happened recently at the BMV. Also, is it BMV or DMV? I guess I never know, but I think it depends on where you go. But in Ohio, it's BMV, Bureau of Motor Vehicles. You get the idea. So recently, it was my husband's birthday, and he turned 33. He's getting old. And he was like, hey, you know, my license is going to expire, is like the 8-year mark or whatever. No, yeah, it was like 8 years or something. So the license was expiring and he needed to get a new one. And so he was waiting for the expiration around his birthday to get the real ID. It's like the new thing you need in the States to travel. Apparently just to fly domestically, you now need a real ID, which is like a fancier license. And you can use your passport, I guess, when you're going domestically, which works just fine for me. But we were like, it'll probably come in handy and we'll probably all need this thing anyway soon. So he was like, I need to do this. Do you want to come with me to the BMV and get yours? Because I had not gotten mine yet. So I was like, yeah, let's just both go together. Even though last time I was there, I remember paying for an 8-year license. And it was right after we got married. So it like was such a big hassle to bring my social, my marriage certificate. My social hadn't had my new name on it. Like, you had to do all these things in the specific order. It's patriarchal, honestly. A woman getting a document after she's married for some reason is now gotten so much harder than it ever should be. I'm like, it's so hard when you're just literally getting married and changing your name. They're like, can we have a million pieces of advice to make sure that you're you? And I'm like, marriage has been around for so long. Why is this shocking information? Anyway, so I was like, yeah, let's go. We had a free Saturday morning. So we said, oh, what are we going to do? We're going to spend it at the BMV. Actually, roll it back. We went, I believe, on a Friday morning around maybe 10 a.m. So we go to the nearest one. It was like 7 minutes away from our house. And the line is out the door on this Friday. And I'm like, people are supposed to be at work. Like, why is this line so long? It was out the door and they have like a thing that shows how much time you're going to be waiting. And it said estimated waiting time was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. We were like, absolutely not. Like, we, again, work for ourselves from home. We have the flexibility of doing this a different day. But it was my husband's birthday. And obviously, like, when you have that, I think you have 2 weeks of a window to get your new license before you get like a penalty fee or something. Plus, it's just for safety. Like, if he gets pulled over for some reason, it doesn't look great if your license is expired. So we're like, all right, we don't have to do this today, but can we try this, you know, maybe tomorrow? And so we're like, all right, before we go back home and reset, let's try a second BMV location. So the first one's about 2 hours and 41 minutes. And then we go to another one 15 minutes away, more in the sticks of Ohio, like in the country. And I'm like, this one will be fine. I don't think that many people are out here in, you know, Southwest Licking, Ohio, trying to get their license renewed today at 10:30 a.m. And the same thing, but actually longer. I think it said over 3 hours of a wait. 3 hours of a wait. And one thing that I will never understand is why they'll have you wait for like several hours and then they'll call you after you're grouchy, after you're cranky, after you've been waiting in the hot sun for like 2 to 3 hours, and then say, do you want to get a picture that's going to be your identification for the next 8 years of your life? After you look like garbage because we treated you like poopy? Why is it always, and it's like they're open 9 to 5 on weekdays. That's when the mass majority of people work. I don't understand it. Government, what are we paying you for? Anyway, so we go to that second place. We're like, okay, heck no, we'll just try again on Saturday. It says they're open from like 8 a.m. to noon. So we get up early on Saturday, not as early as we could have, apparently, and we get to the place by 9 o'clock. And I'm thinking, again, 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning, this is not going to be that crowded. Think again. Think a freaking again. The wait time is, again, 2 hours and 48 minutes. I think actually when we got in line, it was like 2 hours. We're like, okay, that sucks, but it's not the worst thing ever. Let's go grab a coffee. This is nice. You can put your name in and then they tell you to go wait in your car or like go somewhere else because of like a fire hazard. Like the lobby was full. There's people outside the door. And so I'm like, all right, you don't have to tell me twice. So we got in the car and just went around the corner and grabbed coffee. And I wanted to kind of like walk around some stores, maybe do a little window shopping while we waited. But Ian was like, I don't want to miss our time. And I'm like, you're right. So we're on the like, you can sign in online and see your spot, but we still have a long way to go. So we just kind of go back and sit in the car and watch some videos on YouTube and on our phones and talk. And then it gets closer and closer to like, was it noon they were closing? I think it was. And she had said, hey, you put your name in, but if we call you, you get, two options. We call you if you're not there in 30 seconds, we call you again. If you don't show up, you're out of line and you have to come back in the next week. So we were like, okay. She also said that they close the doors and lock them at noon. So it's like 11:45 and we've been sitting in the car since 9 a.m. Coffees are gone. My tummy's grumbling. We have to use the bathroom. So we're like, let's go and just try to get into that lobby before they close the doors. There are still probably 75 people who have not been helped yet, sitting in the lobby, standing outside on the parking lot. Like, it was pretty rough. She was very nice. I will say this, like, the workers were very kind and I feel so bad for them that this is what they have to do. But she was like, everyone needs to like come inside sort of, but also prop the door, but also we need a fire exit, find a seat, whatever. So we make our way in there and we're waiting. And now the wait has gone up to 3 hours. It's at 3 hours and 1 minute of a wait. And we'd obviously been waiting already for 3 hours. And so I think it was about 12:45 that we finally got helped. And I'm like, finally, like it has been 3-ish hours and we've been waiting all morning, but so has everyone else. Like, I'm not even like, woe is us, woe is me. It's like, okay, everyone's been waiting. But finally you feel that like sigh of relief where you get to go up. And they said the two of us could go together, which is really nice. We get up there. And my husband goes, we want real IDs for both of us. He goes, okay, cool. Can I see your license? I'm like, yes. So both of us pull out our license and he goes, well, she's already got it. Excuse me? I already have the real ID? Sir, when? Where? When did I get this? What? And he's like, yeah, that's what that little star in the corner means. You already have the real ID. Unbeknownst to me, apparently when I went in 2021 to get my new license with my new last name after we got married, I just don't remember it. I remember going in and getting the license, but I don't remember saying yes to the real ID at all. Like, I don't even know if that was something I knew about at that point. I remember like hearing about it, but I was like, it's not needed until 2025. And it was like $100 or something. And I was trying to save money. I don't ever recall saying yes or filling out paperwork or anything of the nature. So I was pretty shocked to find that out. And also very disappointed to find that I had wasted 3 hours and 46 minutes or something like that in line on a Saturday morning when I could have been snuggled in bed or eating delicious food. Anyway, it turns out it was fine that I was there anyway because Ian, even though he brought his social, his passport, his old license, and several of our financial statements and water bills from our home, they still needed an additional bill. They wanted mail. They were like, can you show us more mail that shows that he lives at your address, at your home address? And most of the bills, for some reason, are in both of our names, but sent to just mine. Like, it has like my name as the mailer name. And so only one of the financial statements had his name on it. And so all the other mail had mostly mine. It was a whole ordeal. So then I had to show them my marriage certificate to show that I was his spouse and that my name and his name on the same address is fine because he lived there too. It was a whole thing. Anyway, I just had to add that into the embarrassing stories segment of last episode because, yeah, talk about embarrassing. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about food. So the reason that we're trying to eat healthier is not just to like lose a few pounds or try to be cool and trendy. It's, in my mind, I'm trying to better and improve every area of my life by like, if I had it my way, 100%, right? I could wake up tomorrow and I would be sleeping the right amount of time. I'd be lowering my screen time enough. I'd be X amount more productive. I would be X amount more healthy, whatever. But that we all know that doesn't happen. That's not possible, honey. So we're trying to be more realistic. And instead of just like coming out tomorrow with like, oh my gosh, I'm 100% improved in every area of life. Spiritually, I'm perfect. Physically, I'm perfect. Like that just doesn't happen. Everything is a process, not an end product. So I'm trying to approach each area of my life that way and say, okay, one of the areas I'm not doing so great in is cooking, eating right, whatever. So let's get 10% better. And then once I feel like that habit has been established, let's move on to the next area of life and get 10% better in that area. You following? You tracking? So with cooking and food, this is me trying to get 10% better. I'm trying to not change everything tomorrow. I'm not trying to eliminate a bunch of foods from my diet or my existence because there's so much that I love and enjoy. And I don't want to be that girl who's like on a trip and you're like having dinner with some friends around a table and they're like, let's get a bread basket. And you go, I'm not eating bread because I'm trying to watch my weight. If you have a personal goal, sure, whatever. But like, if it's just like, hey, I have the option to like eat cheese and I'm going to sit there and go, oh my gosh, how many calories have I had today? Is this like bad for me? Is it good for me? Is this cheese okay? Like, should I try a different, like, should I just say no and like miss out? Or a birthday party, people are cutting up a cake and you go, no, thanks. No, if you want the cake, I mean, obviously you can have your own restrictions. Sure. I'm not farting on restrictions, but I'm saying that internal battle of doing math on how many calories you've eaten, I feel like that's just like heading into a restrictive, like eating disorder-esque mentality where we're not like living life and enjoying the beautiful things that God has given us to enjoy in the world. And instead going like, no, I can't because refined sugar or because red 40. Like it's okay to live your life in increments. And it's okay to have small desserts and yummy carbs like when it feels like it fits, So anyway, that's my little rant for today. We're working out and we're eating our cheeses. Okay. We're having hot girl, fun girl, pasta girl summer. We are enjoying ourselves. So here are some things that I'm trying to do as a food girly who still is trying to like, take care of her body, nourish it, and live my life. And this one's also for budgeting. I've been ordering some groceries online. There. I said it. I've been ordering certain groceries, mostly only specialty items that are really either hard to find in stores or require me to go to a different store than like the ones within a 5-mile radius of my house. Like a carbon emotions polluter, I am ordering things on Amazon that I eat. I'm not going to get into the habit of doing this forever. However, I will say there's like rules, right? You don't have to do ClickList, DoorDash, delivery your groceries. If that's helpful for you, go for it. If you live in the middle of nowhere or if you are a busy mom with little kiddos and getting out of the house is like torturous to you, go for it. Do what works for you. But for me, I'm like, listen, I have a flexible schedule. Not every day is super busy. I also just want to keep brick and mortar stores alive. I think we need them. Could get into that on a different day. But I have the ability, capacity, schedule, opportunity to get my butt up and go shopping. And honestly, I like grocery shopping. I don't mind it. Putting in a little podcast, walking around Trader Joe's, 10 out of 10. But for those specialty items, or if it's one of those days where I'm like, I already went to Trader Joe's, Aldi, and now I have to swing by Kroger to get something special, and then I'm lost in the aisles and it's overpriced, this is where this comes in handy. So I just put an order in not too long ago, and this is the stuff I ordered. Organic chia seeds, curry paste, chickpea pasta. That one was kind of hard to find at the store for some reason. Special beans. India's out here ordering special beans on Amazon, everyone. Spread the news. A new olive oil that looks really good. It's kind of higher end than I normally get. Organic lion's mane powder to add to smoothies. This is my second time ordering this. Pretty good stuff. And nutritional yeast, because not every grocery store I go to has it, and it's usually pretty expensive. So by doing this on Amazon, what I liked about it is that I didn't overspend, which I think is the big thing that people really enjoy about like ClickList programs. I like that I didn't have to overspend because I can just literally see how much everything costs and it fits right into my budget. And I'm not like tempted by walking around fancy aisles to get more than I had budgeted for. But I also liked it again because it's a time saver. And I think like 3 or 4 of these ingredients they have at Aldi usually, but they were out of a couple things. And then the other ones are either at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, which are like a 30-minute drive for where we live. So it's like, am I going to spend $8 to $10 round trip in gas going out there just to find these small niche ingredients? Or could I just order this? And it's not even like I need this stuff every month. It's like every other month I'll like stock up on a couple of these things. And we have Amazon Prime anyway, so it's like we're already paying for that delivery. Anyway, maybe I'll change my mind later when all the local stores start closing and I feel really guilty. But for now, those specialty ingredients, ordering those ahead of time has been helpful. Another thing I'm doing is scheduling out what we eat in a week. Growing up, my mom used to make like menus every single week, and I start doing it too. Honestly, is very helpful. We don't like stick to it like super stickler-esque. Like I just like to put it out there so that when I do a grocery shopping trip, it's intentional, right? It's not like every day I go, what should we have? Oh, cool. Now let's go to Kroger and get like 4 ingredients and then come home and make it. It's helpful just to say like, hey, here's the week. Here's how many weddings we have. We're going to get fed at those weddings. So we only really need like breakfast stuff that day. Okay. And then here's the other nights. Okay. We have a small group this night. We'll probably just do leftovers or maybe pick up something on the way home. All right. So that means we've got like 4 dinners to take care of that week. Are we doing any other friend hangs, family hangs? Do we have to like buy, I just don't like wasting food or buying especially fresh produce that goes bad. So it's kind of helpful just to put all that out there and see like, what am I going to actually need? What are we going to be here to eat? And if I'm buying all this produce and we end up changing something in the week, what can I chop up and freeze? So that's kind of been helpful for me. I'd like to say I do it 2 weeks at a time, but realistically, like I at least schedule meals for 1 week. And then maybe that Sunday, I kind of look ahead at the next week and decide what we're going to do. Another thing I've been doing is kind of blocking out time on my Google Calendar specifically to meal prep ? Like, who am I? But also just cook and clean. I think, again, because I work for myself, my schedule is kind of open for any of my clients who need to like have a call with me can put it on my schedule at any point. So I have to be very specific about, like if I know something's coming up, I can't just go, oh, I'll just do that tonight. I need to like put it in my calendar because any of my clients could go ahead and just schedule a call for this evening and I wouldn't know until I get off this podcast. So I also have to kind of be strategic about that. And so if I think I'm going to want some personal time, I'll just go ahead and block it off in my calendar so that I don't have to go back and forth and like be like, oh, I can't take that call anymore. Okay. Something else that I'm doing, this is brand new to me, is a app. It sounds so bougie again. What a privilege. I have an app that organizes my recipe TikToks. It sounds kind of dumb, but so far I think I'm loving it. There's this app I downloaded. This is not sponsored by them. It's called Resime. There's a bug trying to get in my eye. Excuse me. It's called Resime, Recime. And it is an app that when you like watch a bunch of TikTok videos or Reels videos or YouTube shorts showing all these different yummy recipes. And then you're like, great. I have just been like saving them or sending them to myself, but then it gets lost in the sauce and there's no way to like organize it. And I'm like going to look through my saved stuff and it's like Pedro Pascal memes and recipes that I want to try and then wedding inspiration and then like something I want to like know for the next time I travel. Like it's just so much stuff. It's kind of like a curated Pinterest just for recipes. And I was a little skeptical because I'm like, I don't want to pay money for something that I don't need. But it was so cheap. I think it was like $3.99 a month for a whole year. $4, less than a cup of coffee. And what I do like about it is it doesn't just take your videos and put them somewhere, but it goes through the video's caption and audio, and it will put the ingredients, all like the ingredients used in the video and how much, and the actual like instructions on how to make the recipe. And it'll like organize it. So you're not just looking at the video anymore, but it takes it and turns it into like a real recipe. Does that make sense? So for me, that's super helpful. I'm a very visual person. So when I'm just scrolling on the toilet and I see a bunch of recipe videos pop up on my TikTok, I can just instantly save it to the Recipe app and it'll turn it into a recipe. It does this for any like special recipes you find on the internet, any food or chef blogs, cook blogs, anything like that. So you can take any recipe from anywhere on the internet and basically create a digital cookbook. For me, the price of $4 a month, I think the total I paid was $39.99 for a year of access to it. If I think about that, like, yes, I could just put them on Pinterest and keep my laptop open and cook like that. But there's so many, like, to me, I'm like $40 for a year of making cooking a little easier and organizing all my recipes in this cleaner way. I don't know. Maybe I'll like regret it later, but I'm like, that's not that bad. It's kind of like just buying a nice cookbook and I'm cool with that. So that's what I've been trying. So far, I love it. What I don't love about it at the moment is when it takes those videos that has a recipe in it, unless the video creator has specifically typed out the instructions or the ingredients, it has a hard time just taking like the audio of a video recipe and transcribing that into the text. So that's the only thing that's kind of a bummer, is not every creator does that. So I'm just trying to find, healthy recipe people who actually put those things in the caption. That really helps a lot. Okay, so that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying this summer and leading into the fall, I guess. Trying to do better with this and get excited about cooking. And I do feel kind of cool about it. Like cooking does feel like an art. It feels like you're making something. It's kind of like painting. You're trying different things. You're sculpting. It's very in the creative realm. I just think for several years it was like scary to me. I didn't grow up really like cooking or anything like that. I think I've talked about that on other places on here. So it was scary, but now it's kind of fun. So talking about all this stuff, I've found several new recipes. We're not going vegan, so don't freak out. But we're also not like huge meat eaters. It's kind of weird. Like Ian has a couple textures that he doesn't love. One is like ground meat. And I agree. It's like, when you get like a gristle in like a sausage and you're just like, all right, that's it. Like, I don't want to take another bite. It's like a piece of bone from an animal. It kind of ruins the appetite. So he doesn't really do certain ground meat, right? So like anything ground beef, real hamburgers, sausage, hot dogs, not his cup of tea. And he's all about like, hey, you can make whatever you want. I just probably won't eat it if it is that. But I'm also like, yeah, like once in a while I'll get some of those, like I'll get ground beef or ground turkey once in a while when I'm craving it, but I'm not gonna like eat a whole pound of that. Like it's not very helpful for me to have to make two different things or for him to make something separate. I'm like, if I'm already cooking or if he's already cooking, let's just cook with the ingredients we both like. So that's one reason. The other is it's just expensive. It's just expensive. Welcome to being an adult, but also this freaking economy sucks and it blows chunks, and spending money on like delicious high protein red meat, like yummy steaks, or even like pork tenderloins, or even really the kind of chicken breasts you should be buying, like the all natural, I don't even know all the right things, organic, corn fed, free range chickens, something like that probably is the right combo of things. We like to get nicer chicken, right? If you're going to be eating it and feeding it to your family, you don't want to fill yourself up with garbage. And so when you do that, it's pricier. It's just more expensive. So for all those reasons, like we do chicken, we do salmon, we do tilapia, a lot of fish. We've been getting into shrimp more, and we'll do those probably 2 or 3 nights a week for dinners. But most of the time, most of the meals we're making, we do bacon. We do bacon because, of course, we're not crazy. Of course, we're going to eat bacon. But most of the other meals, I would say most of our lunches and breakfasts, aside from some bacon, are pretty much meat-free. And then most of our other dinners are meat-free as well. So with that, yeah, those are our reasons, I guess. But with that, I've been trying to find high protein, nourishing meals that, even if it's just veggie based or plant based, that still fills you up. Because when you eat like a rabbit, sometimes you're like, but I'm hungry. Literally after this, I'm going to be getting Chipotle because I am currently hungry. So here are some recipes we've tried, and I gave a little rating for each one so that if you're like, should I try this or not? This is what I think about it. The first one, possibly the best one, cauliflower wings. Cauliflower wings. Listen, cauliflower, I would have never, if you would have said, India, oh my gosh, I dare you to eat this head of cauliflower, bestie, I would have said not a chance in heck that I'm going to eat that whole thing. I think I ate a whole head of cauliflower Saturday night. India ate a whole head of cauliflower because the way you prepare the cauliflower wing, it eventually kind of doesn't have the exact texture of a chicken wing, but it's really similar, and it's all in the sauces. It is all in the sauces. So I had fun. I made 3 different types of cauliflower wing sauce. I give this a 15 out of 10. I will put all these recipes in the caption, by the way, so you can try them. But I did a buffalo hot sauce. Love, always a hit. I did a homemade barbecue sauce. Yeah, I made my barbecue sauce right here at home. Slay. 15 out of 10. It was delicious. And every single ingredient was something we already had in the kitchen. I was like shocked. It was like ketchup, brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, maybe a splash of soy sauce, salt, onion powder, garlic powder, something like that. And I was shocked at how delicious it was. And then I did a homemade garlic lemon butter sauce for the wings. I went a little too heavy on the lemon, so I give that one like a 4 out of 10. But the barbecue sauce recipe, I'll link it below. 15 out of 10. Cauliflower wings in general, 15 out of 10. Scrumptious. Scrumdiddlyumptious. I also made homemade sweet potato fries in my air fryer. Never done that before. I give the recipe like a 6 out of 10 because I had to like keep cooking them to get them really crispy in the air fryer. I think it said to do it for like 12 minutes. I had to put them in for about 25 minutes total, but delicious. If you have a spare sweet potato, just chop it up, coat it in the stuff. It's really the cornstarch and the olive oil combo that helps get it crispy. Scrumptious. Okay. The next recipe, roasted cabbage with a creamy cashew sauce. I give this recipe a 4 out of 10. The cabbage was delicious. The roasted cabbage was just fine. All the ingredients sounded like they were going to be good. However, the recipe I found, this was like a TikTok that I was watching, it was posted by some subscription service. So they didn't actually give the whole recipe in the video or the caption, which was so rude of them. So then some well-meaning citizen saw it and put it in the comments. She's like, here's my best guess based on everything they did. And so between like the video and watching him do it all and then the recipe with her assumption of what it was, that's what I went off of when I made this one. And it was fine. Again, the cabbage was good, but there were 2 things going on. The roasted seared cabbage, I did it in the cast iron. Then you make like a cashew cream sauce. Then you're supposed to pour the sauce over it and pop it in the oven to like get it all bubbly and fully cook. When I put the sauce in the oven, it coagulated. It did not sauce in the way I wanted the sauce to sauce. It got all like chunky and it wasn't doing it for me. So it, in theory, should have been perfect because it was like cashews, oat milk, nutritional yeast. I even slipped some tofu in there, lemon, garlic, all that good stuff. Like everything in there was delicious, but it didn't like stay creamy. It like got hard and firm and didn't taste great. So that was the dish. It does say to put like tempeh cubes on top or pancetta. We use bacon because, again, we're not monsters. The bacon really helped crisp it up at the end. Ian ate all of it. I ate just the cabbage with the bacon bits. I think I even threw some feta on there too. But I would try this recipe, but like modify it if you're going to try it. So 4 to 10 overall. The next one I actually don't have a recipe for, just a Mediterranean salad that I meal prepped for the week. I give this an 8 out of 10. All I did was combine a can of chickpeas, black olives, cherry tomatoes, a chopped up cucumber, some red onion in a bowl. added some minced garlic, some lemon, some Greek yogurt, dill, salt, pepper. Mix. Oh, and some feta, of course. Everything you would want on a gyro, just chop it up, put it in there. No meat, chickpeas instead. Perfect. Great meal prep. I will be doing this all summer long. I ate it with pita chips. You could also eat it just with a fork, like out. You could also plop it all on a bed of leafy greens, but to meal prep it without those like spongy leafy veggies really helped keep it solid throughout the week. I like this one. Okay. Buffalo chickpea bowls. Ugh, anything with buffalo sauce, honestly, game changer. Happy and proud about this one too, because again, me 5 years ago, 2 years ago, I'd be like, what do you mean I have to make 4 things from scratch for this recipe? No, but I did. I did it. So you do make pretty much everything from scratch. It takes a little more prep than you realize, but I made quick pickled onions. I made a homemade coleslaw. What else did I make for this? The homemade buffalo sauce. And then I feel like there was something else that I had to make that went into this one. I mean, maybe just putting it all together. But yeah, it was delicious, honestly. And I think in the recipe video, she uses like tofu curls. I used chickpeas for this one. And then we did it the next day with real chicken as well. The chicken, I liked the bite and the flavor overall better with real chicken. Chickpeas would be a great substitute. Haven't tried the tofu version, but all was pretty good. But yeah, it's like crispy and tangy and everything comes together really nicely. I think I would modify by adding a little extra. I added quinoa to this, but I think I'd add like avocado. Like it needs one more creamy thing to offset it. Oh, the house ranch. I made homemade ranch from scratch. It's all in this recipe. Very easy to do. Yeah, I think the ranch was a good add-on. And I think I would need like maybe a little bread or something to go with it. Ooh, I should do French fries next time. I'll do French fries. But anyway, great recipe. I give it an 8 out of 10. I don't have a recipe for this one. This was just one Ian made up. He was feeling creative and made us mushroom open-faced breakfast sandwiches. Delicious. I give it an 7 out of 10. It was like open-faced, like portobello mushroom. And then he did a layer of cheese, avocado, and like a fried egg sunny side up with some seasonings. Very good. I think the mushroom had a little too much moisture in it. I would, and I told him this too. He's like, what can I do to improve? And I was like, I would add, like, dampen it out with a little towel or fry it and push it out a little bit more. And then I would add a little more crunch, like a little more of like a crispy onion topping. Or, I mean, if you want to keep it low carb, maybe not a piece of bread, but it did need like a hash brown or something to like soak in all the deliciousness. Very yummy though. If you want to try it, get fancy with your breakfast. Ian is the king in our household. He is the king of breakfast foods. So he is more inclined to cook in the mornings for us. And I'm more inclined to cook in the evenings for us. But it works out. Okay. The next thing I tried was a cheese-free, like a dairy-free, gluten-free, cheesy chickpea pasta. This was posted by some vegan dude that I follow. And I thought it was okay. And then I gave Ian a bite and I said, it's dairy-free, gluten-free, meat-free, vegan. And he goes, yeah, I can tell. It was, I think, a nutritional yeast sauce. So if I'm remembering right, it was like lemon, garlic, nutritional yeast, olive oil, and maybe beans. I think it was like a can of cannoli beans, whatever, over a chickpea pasta. The guy in the video is vegan, so he was like, this is delicious. My wife and I have this like every night when we're like bored and don't know what to cook. I think it has high potential. So I rank it a 5 and a 5.5 out of 10, I think. It really needs like something else. The nutritional yeast flavor isn't my favorite, I think. Excuse me. So I think maybe some real parm, maybe some pancetta, some bacon bits, something like that. Or even just veggies might help it out. So like sauteing some zucchini, onion, mushroom, tossing that in the sauce might help. But I think all the ingredients are just fine because the protein comes from the sauce. You're getting so much protein from those beans and the nutritional yeast that I don't think that's the issue. I think we just need more flavor in there as well. So I added a little extra lemon, extra salt, extra olive oil, and that helped it out. But try that one and let me know what you think. Okay, yogurt parfaits. I saw some girl who was like, blah, blah, blah. This is like the best high antioxidant protein breakfast you could have. Plain Greek yogurt, low fat with raspberries, chia seeds, honey, mix, mix, mix. Eat, enjoy, love it. No complaints. That with a hot black cup of coffee, I can get behind that any day. Really good. I give it a 7 out of 10. Green soup. This comes from, I think her name is Jen Johnson. She's like such a fun personality. I would like love to hang out with her. She put this on Instagram. I started trying it. It's her viral green detox soup. I don't know about the detox part. I don't see why it wouldn't detox me, but I actually really, as far as like healthy, dietitian gurus on Instagram, this is actually a really tasty one. It's all good things for you. So I don't see why this would be bad. It was like a whole zucchini, a couple stalks of celery, vegetable broth. I use chicken bone broth just to get a little more oomph. Some onion, and then a couple other things, maybe some fresh herbs. Ginger went in there too. I think I did a bunch of spinach. She does kale, but I modified mine with spinach. All that, cook it down in a little saucepan pot, and then you use your immersion blender or pop it in a blender, blend it up. It was good. And then I served it with like a dollop of olive oil and pumpkin seeds. Guys, it was good. I ate that for lunch every single day 1 week. I'm trying to detox myself, but also just trying to increase my veggies. Like, I've never eaten that much vegetable before. I don't think, that consistently. Like, that is a huge portion of daily veggies every day for like the whole week. So I don't know. That one was pretty tasty though. I was like, I give it an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10. It was really good. Green juice. I'll link the video I'm referring to. There's a lot of green juice recipes. I should try more of a Green Goddess one. This one was just fine. I think I give it like a 5 out of 10. I didn't love the flavor. And by the end of the week, I was mixing it with gin to try to make it an exotic cocktail, but not that great. Sticky Korean tofu. This has to be the best tofu recipe I've tried so far. I was a little skeptical. The method that this girl uses in her video was like something I'd never seen before. She boiled the tofu in salt water first, which when you work with tofu, you usually want to push out the water. You put like a can or a weight on top of it to drain the tofu water, and then you toss it in sauces. She went the other way. She boiled it in salt water and swore that would help then the tofu soak up more flavor. I'm not even going to come at her. I tried it and it worked. It worked really well. So I did it for 5 minutes. Then I made the sauce with the recipe she had. And then I think I just did the boiled tofu, put it in soy sauce, air fried it. Then you put the sauce and the tofu together in a saucepan and crisp it up. Guys, it was really good. It was very flavorful. Again, another simple sauce. I never would have thought that I already had all the things in my kitchen, but I did. It was great. Okay, off script, something I don't have a recipe for. I just made this smoothie this morning out of my own brain, my creative brain. Maybe my new favorite smoothie of the summer. She's delicious. Chocolate pomegranate protein smoothie. No complaints from your girl. I think it was like a scoop of my Garden of Life chocolate protein powder, a scoop of lion's mane, half a frozen banana, big dollop of non-fat Greek yogurt, plain. Always get the plain flavor. Even though it tastes like, it just tastes like it, you can mix it up. Because then you can add, I did a big scoop of frozen pomegranates, a scoop of freeze-dried strawberries, honey, chia seeds, splash of milk. Very, very good. I think I added some dark chocolate chips in there too. It was so yummy, guys. I give it a 10 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10 because the only thing that's, quote, bad for you in there is dark chocolate. And that's not even bad for you. Everything else is good. Delicious. Last thing that I meal prepped. I don't have a recipe for this one either, but another easy one. Protein balls. I've been making protein balls for a while. It's not something I do often, but whenever I'm like, hey, I should meal prep, or we have a busy wedding season coming up, maybe we should have some quick snacks on hand. Very easy. I combined some organic, like what are they, steel rolled oats or whatever, with a bunch of peanut butter, a little bit of water, chia seeds, honey. You can do protein powder in there too, a couple chocolate chips, mix it up, and then form some protein balls, pop them in your fridge or your freezer. I went a step further with these. I melted dark chocolate and added that on the outside and then rolled that in chia seeds to get even more crunch, even more protein, antioxidants, whatever. I don't know all the nutrition behind this, but it makes them taste yummy and it tastes like a little dessert. And then if you're like, I don't want to make a whole parfait, you can always just take one and chop it back up, deconstruct the protein ball, sprinkle it over a bed of yogurt. You're good to go. I give that one a 7 out of 10. She's good. I don't love the flavor of the protein powder they use, but I know it's healthy and good for me, so whatever. I think that's all that I would improve there. But yeah. Okay, what recipes are you trying? I need to know what you want to try, what you want me to try. If you have any good recipes, oh my gosh, good, healthy, high protein, low carb recipes, send them my way. I'm ready. I'm ready to stop making excuses about food and eat well and cook and be, in my little happy bubble of nutrition and wellness. Yay. Send me recipes. I'll put all the captions. Wait, what? I'll put all the recipe links in the caption below. Let me know what I should try next, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Do you see my shrine of bras? Looks like a Skims factory out here. I was just doing some air drying to cut down on electricity, and I have a little guest watching earnestly from the window, waiting for her escape, plotting.